bracha. Before we start the next year, I'm going to show you a sefer that is probably out of print. I used to work hard to try to find the sefer. It's called the Eitz Chaim Motzoehen. There's a whole school of Kabbalah that deals really just with pictures or drawings. And we're going to see that today in what we're talking about. So this is the rest of it. It's really related to the Eitz Chaim, of course. And this is from the Atiyah, Rabbi Mordechai Atiyah, that Yeshiva in Yerushalayim. Let me open it up. I'm going to put it right here, because what you get out of this sefer are really depictions of what the Mochin themselves look like. Let me get this underneath it. We'll put it right here. I'm still waiting. I think we may get just 5 minutes. Time is getting later, or maybe we'll get no time at all today. But at least this is an introduction to this. And why can't I get it a little bit more? Oh, it's going the wrong way. Which way is the right way? The book. I don't think I can move the book. Okay, so we'll hold here, do the best we can with it. I'll try to get it worked out before we get started again. So I'm back, and it looks like my Bruce is not going to make it back, because now it's coming Mondays and Thursdays. For Vasika Minion is running really late, so it's going to be like our shiurim will be mostly front-loaded. So, but I want to take us over here and just have a little introduction, because this is very interesting to me on page 8 in the book that I showed you previously. I'm going to bring it back up, and we're going to be looking at this section, right? These two sections. If you're recalling that what we're learning it's an Indian Tzitzit, actually. What we're learning over here has to do with the Mochin themselves. These are actually what the Mochin look like in Olam Atzilus. Now, when they come to us, of course, you can't see that at all. But this is the origin of it. And if you count out, we're going to see they're going to be Mochin on the side of Abba and the Sochel Mochin on the side of Ima. And we said before there are 4 Mochin on the side of Abba. 1, 2, 3, 4. And he counts them like this. This is the Chochmah of Abba. These are the Chasad and the Das of Abba. This is what they look like. We're going to go through them more in detail. And then this is the other side. These are the Gevura side. So that this is the Chub, that is the Chochmah and Bina, the Chesed and Gevura. That's how you break it down, of the Gevura of Abba. This is what they look like. And then the Chub, the Bina, the Abba. And then this is what the Bina of Abba. So what you're doing here is you're going what? First you're talking the Gevura of Das, the Abba. That's what they look like. And this is the Gevura of this, rather the Chub means Chochmah, Bina, Chesed, and Gevura. So Chub, the Bina, the Abba. Looks like this, only 3 letters. Okay, then you go to the Ima side. These are all Ima's pictures, and so they're all this color. These colors to separate them. And if you're able to look on the side of this and just turn your head, this says Mochin Mitzad the Abba, the Mochin that go by Abba. And this says Mochin de Bitzad de Ima. So these are the 2 things we're looking at. These are the Mochin that are actually coming into Zeir Anpin. Understand that Zeir Anpin is a Yud Vav Dalet K Yud Vav Yud Davad K Yud. This Mochin are coming into Zeir Anpin, and there are 32 of them. Right, there's 4 in each Moach. Each Moach is composed of all the other 4 Mochin that we said. So 4. So this is 16, and down here that's on the Abba side, on the Ima side. It's another 16. It makes 32 altogether. Now, hopefully, we'll have a chance to be able to go over this a little bit more detail. But again, I want to be able to repeat for this is just an introduction. Just for this little introduction to understand that here we're talking about the Chochmah, the Abba, the Chasadim of the Das of Abba. He leaves out the word the Das, but it is. Then he goes, and you're in the middle now. So you're on the outside on the right. Then you come into the middle right. Then you go to the middle left. Depends on how you count. You could start on the left, but you could start in the middle of the left. He calls this the Chub. That's the Chochmah Ubina, Chasadim Gevuras of Gevura de Abba, or the Gevura of Das de Abba. This is what they look like. And then the Chub of the Bina de Abba. So that was the Gevurah de Abba. Then you're going really to the extreme left, which is where you're going to find the line of Bina, which is going to be the most left side. And that's all has to do with Abba, right? So you see that there's a right of Abba, there's a left of Abba, and there's a center. That's according to this quoting the Gra. The center always splits, so it's always two sides. It's always Chasadim and Gevuros. So this little fact. So you come down to Ima, and you're going to have the same exact thing, except that you're going to be coming. These are the Mochin that come from Ima. So we see that Abba and Ima have separate Mochin. All of these are coming together into Zera Anpin. And this is the Chub of the Chochmah de Ima. This is the Chub of the Chasadim of Das of Ima. This is the Chub of the Gevuros de Das de Ima. This is what they look like. This is the Chub de Bina de Ima, the Bina of Ima, just the Bina, the real left side of Ima. So once again, there's 4 Mochin. Each side of each part of the 4 Mochin is 4. That's 16. So the 16 and 16 makes 32 different parts of the Mochin. That's really the lesson that we're going to be learning as we go forward. And if you're zocheh to be able to hear this and learn it, I'm so really, really excited about it. So we'll see what the rest of this is going to be. There's only one other thing I want to point out, which I don't understand it. So he says that there is going to be, as they come into Zera Anpin, a chiluf, a switch. So if we have here all the Mochin de Abba, right, and then all of the Mochin de Ima, then we say, let's look in the center, he says. He says, on the left side of the center of Ima, when they come into Zera Anpin, is going to switch positions to the right side, for the right side of the Chasadim. So it's the Gevuros de Abba are going to switch with the Chasadim de Ima. They're going to make a switch across the middle lines. This is the right side of the middle line for Ima, and it's the left side of the middle line for Abba. We have to learn about that. This is Baruch Fleischman, Tigran Elevator Cola.